Hi guys, welcome to this episode. I don't even know what to call it. Let's just call it resort wear with my BFFs, Shivan and Narresh. They are here today. I don't know if I'm excited or irritated because I came fully dressed with hair and makeup on time, 5 minutes before time. They were both in their pajamas. And they were like, 2 minutes, we're going to just shower in 2 minutes. They've come out in half an hour. So here we go. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you for being ready on time.
You also know it's shot in our house, so we were taking care of logistics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could have, in your own house, you could have had a shower, no? Anyways, yeah, nice mustache.
Oh,
I just
thanks.
realized that you have a mustache.
I just did it.
You just grew it.
I guess you'll be showcasing it.
So a lot of people feel,
Hmm.
I guess a lot of those people are also haters.
Yeah.
They feel like, when do you work? Because you're always on a holiday. and they have this criticism, you
Yeah,
know,
I know,
but maybe
I-
they're just slightly jealous because they are stuck in their gross office
Yeah.
and they want to be on a holiday too, you know, and they don't.
Everybody keeps fighting about work-life balance.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what we are trying to achieve. And we work 20 days, holiday 10 days.
Is
And
that like a thing? You work 20 days a month and you holiday 10 days a month?
if I average it out, this is what it turns out to be. And you know,
Oh.
the weekend I was working, like Saturday, Sunday, something or the other comes up. So I'm like, okay, so I don't have to see weekend as a weekend. I just have to see those work days and holidays.
A lot of this is also to do with the whole reason why we got into resort wear. I think way back when we were studying in college, me and him, before we were going to start the brand, we had one day a very honest conversation.
Yeah.
What is it that we love to do? Something that we would like to do till the last day of our lives. And that was travel. And then we're like, okay, so what is it that we should begin with that's going to make us travel for the rest of our lives? For us, at least, it was bathing suits because we felt it was a very global category. It wouldn't regionalize us just to India. We could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Anybody from the world can wear it.
Your whole brand is centered around the concept of a holiday.
I don't even think when we started, we thought that, oh, well, let's be a resort wear designers.
So what did
or
you think?
let's-
What did you want to
Nothing.
be?
Nothing. We wanted to design. We knew we could design anything under the sun. We had multiple international awards under our belt. So we knew category-wise, we need to start with something that's super focused. So it helps you razor sharp into the industry. And then after that, once you get in, then you expand. And because, like I said, holiday travel is something that we really love to do. We just said, let's start with bathing suits. And whether it's going to be eventually categorized as resort wear or you're this or you're that boxing, I think industry just does.
Because also this was something new. Like nobody was
Correct.
doing designer bathing suits when you
Yeah.
guys started designer bathing suits
Correct.
in India.
Correct.
So maybe they were like, oh, okay, this brand is doing it. So let's make them a swimwear, resort
Correct.
wear brand.
Correct.
Also, to be honest, you started adding other categories like couture and
Correct.
men,
Correct.
like menswear a little later.
Yes.
So you established yourself as like a swimwear brand for a couple of years first,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. Good. Well, first 6-7 years.
Yeah.
So tell me how you guys met first.
I think it's different for me and different for him because he
That's-
saw me on a different day and I saw him on a different day.
Oh, so
Yeah.
there's a different days you saw each other and
Yeah,
different days you introduced yourselves
Yeah,
to
yeah,
each
yeah.
other. Yeah.
I mean,
speak up though, huh?
le-
Because we're fighting the rain in the monsoon.
We were same batch in the college.
And you were in NIFT.
In NIFT.
In NIFT Delhi.
NIFT New Delhi.
Yeah.
I remember we were given a week long of dress code from seniors. You
Is this like a ragging thing they do in Indian colleges?
Yeah, so ragging was a 1 week of dress code for all of us.
Okay.
And I'm not such a big sport. I'm a bit of a shy guy, but then I saw Naresh sporting like every dress code and
He
like
takes dress codes really
very
seriously.
seriously. One day was a cross-dressing day where
Yeah.
men dress as women, women dress as men.
Yeah.
But he very smartly just borrowed a skirt from his mom, like a full maxi length skirt, and wore like a simple shirt, I think. And I was like that is so cool. Like
Yeah.
he also kind of say that clothes don't have gender.
It was a sarong, yeah. It was
Yeah, it
like
was a
a sarong that my mom had stitched when she was in a fashion college.
So your mom went to fashion
yeah,
college
but she
too.
never practiced
So
it.
you got
but
it from her,
Yeah,
basically.
she got married right after.
You know, this
so-
happens a lot. There are a lot of actors who you speak to
Yeah.
who say that my mom or dad always wanted to be an actor and they couldn't be. So
Yeah.
now I'm doing it. It's like you're living like
No, so
her dream.
even
you know what I
spiritually,
mean?
they say that your
Yeah.
kids are always the manifestation of the parents that they want, the life they always wanted. So they live it through their kids. Yeah.
That's cool. So your mom wanted to be a designer.
yeah.
And then when did you notice him?
We were in the same batch, so they put us in the same class only for a week though, because after a week they shuffled the groups again. He was wearing this jute kurta,
So
sweaty,
embarrassed.
armpits. and he was wearing a gold watch. And I was
He's
like,
come straight from Kanpur.
yeah, I was like, who is
yeah.
this Kanpur Bania guy like sitting in front of me? And I was like, oh, he's cute. Like he looks good,
Yeah,
you know? But I was
yeah.
like, but why that dressing? Like it's a complete polar opposite of me.
He took it upon himself to kind of
You were like his
groom me.
project. So that's his
Yeah.
project. Yeah.
I didn't judge him for his clothes, but I was just found it very interesting. I was like,
Yeah.
it was very cool. Like somebody in fashion college, but then chooses to dress like this on their first day of college.
Did you guys get along immediately?
Yes and no. I think we met through a common friend, this girl who at that point in time, there was something brewing between me and her at that
Yeah.
point in time. He and her were really good friends. And
And then you just went and stole her guy.
no, this is just very controversial. So one day he came and told me that, I know that you're getting serious about her, but she's actually two-timing you, and she has a boyfriend for the last 5 years. She was elder to me. For some reason, I also had this very evil reputation in college that whoever dates me just gets out of college. Like, you can't break his heart kind of a thing.
Oh, you give like a badua?
No, I don't know anything.
I guess
so like,
situations play around in a way.
Suresh, you secretly, do you do like voodoo on your editor?
I don't. But like this information came to me that afternoon. Next day, she was like
Asked to leave?
asked to leave the
No,
college.
she
She had
can't,
a
'cause-
low attendance or something, and for whatever grounds, she was just asked to leave, and she was out of our lives.
How do you think you guys complement each other?
I'm very introspective in how I process design,
Yeah.
and he's very external. I was just amazed that he came from Kanpur, and I grew up in Delhi, but just his sense of awareness of what was going on in the world was so much more ahead than me. Like he knew exactly what designers doing what collections back then, when we
Yeah.
were 16 years old.
Yeah.
He knew what editorials were being shot in what magazines. He would go through magazines, music videos. He knew everything that was going on in the world.
Okay.
And I had access to all of this, and it used to never inspire me to know what somebody else is doing.
Maybe you took it for granted?
It wasn't part of my design process.
Whenever I see something that I'm like, okay, somebody else has done it, I'm like, we can't go in this direction because I've already seen
So
it.
you are the more aware one of
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
happening in the
Yeah.
world.
I got through to NIFT. I had a very good all India rank. So my father was like, you need to do fashion. And I wanted to be a graphic designer because I was really good at printmaking, because that's what I studied in school, even as a part of my formal CBSE
Right.
education. That turn of my life came because my father chose it for me. And then today in fashion, I do exactly that. I design prints, colors in prints, and communication design. That's essentially my part of the thing. And PR kind
And
of
like
comes with that.
silhouette.
And silhouette and
the
shape.
direction of the show. I mean, in terms of
Silhouette
what are
shape
we
is more
thinking?
you.
Yeah.
That comes from him.
You
differently.
think macro and he's more micro?
Yes,
Is
he's
Yeah,
that
very,
what it
very
is?
detail
Yes.
oriented,
Yes,
and I'm
absolutely.
very macro. Design always flew from his table to mine, and then eventually would go into production.
Right.
When we are going through a season, he has no clue what prints I'm making, and I have no clue what silhouettes is he working
Oh, really?
on. So truly, at the end of the season, when the samples start to come out, it's surprising for him
Yeah.
and me that, oh wow, I
Absolutely.
didn't think that my print is going to go on a shirt or a dress cut like that.
this, yeah.
And he's like, well, I didn't know you were playing with so much color. I think monochrome.
Yeah,
You know?
I think
Yeah.
monochrome,
So truly, like what ends up coming is actually like a third entity,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is the brand.
Where do you see this going? Like, why did you start Indian wear?
Indians in India selling to Indians,
Yeah.
you inevitably start thinking from a perspective of customer. Cannot not think about it.
Yeah.
So it is a give and take. Like you were trying to push your ideology, and then at the end of the day, you also try to hear your customer. I thought, let's just do a brand that has got nothing to do with us. Like maybe an XYZ brand that
Like a new brand
yeah.
of Indian wear. That's what you
Yeah.
were thinking.
We're thinking initially, and then Naresh was very like against it. He's like, no, never. And that's when we started thinking about, okay, if we were to do Indian wear, how would we do it? So then the idea of resort wear got extended. So we do things that are lighter in fabric and easier to work around with on a holiday, or so to say,
Or
a
to
destination
pack.
wedding.
Even to pack, it's easier because your Indian wear doesn't really need to be
Correct.
ironed as
Ironed,
such.
yeah.
You know, we broke even within the third or fourth year.
Which
Which
is
for
amazing,
us,
which is
we
amazing.
didn't even think like that, because we were like, wow, you're going to sell bathing suits in India. How are you going to sell? Who's going to
How
buy?
do you make money?
How are you going to make money with a category like that? And for us, we felt it was a big pat on our back that we gave ourselves. And when you start to understand why that happened, you start to understand that the whole country is massively shifting. In the last decade, a decade and a half, women and men who are buying fashion today have nothing to do with the way buying patterns were about 10 years ago. And you started to realize that if you gave somebody 2 lakh rupees, they would not go and buy a bag or a shoe. They would actually go and take a holiday. Even fashion, we realized, had to move from product to experiences. And once you start to understand that, you realize that it's actually affecting every industry in our country, in the world actually. And when we started to see Indian wear from that lens, I knew 100% that these women who are coming to us for holidays, they're very, very financially independent women. They're okay with, at least they're comfortable with their bodies.
With their skin, in
yes.
their skin, yeah.
When these women get married, or when millennials get married, it's not about gratifying 1,000 people at the wedding.
So that is your client.
That is
your
my
woman,
client.
The independent woman.
A very self-loving woman.
Self-loving, who earns herself
Exactly.
most likely,
yes.
is your client.
Yes. Yeah.
But you do know that the majority of Indian women who shop, or maybe not majority, at least half of them are not these women. I will give a small anecdote. In Bombay, I was there, and I was introduced to somebody who was very wealthy, and his wife was there, and she was telling me, oh, I loved a certain outfit you wore. It was so pretty by so-and-so designer. So I said, no problem. I will introduce you to that person. She was like, oh yeah, she was excited. So the husband was like, over my dead body. His words in front of me standing there were over my dead body. Something about it just bothered me so much, because I was like, our culture is still so much of this. Like, this woman has been your wife for X amount of years. She's had your kids. She takes care of your house.
What more do you want from her?
And like, for you to speak like this to her, or like in front of her to a stranger, is just like, anyway. So what I'm saying is that woman, God bless her soul, she's a very nice lady, but like, she's probably not your client.
Correct. I'll give you a story. When our first customer in Bombay, this is when we started doing, we were invited to do Lucknow Fashion Week. This is 2010. The first woman who walked into our booth was this Mumbai woman, and she was getting married. And in her house, and this is a family that lives in Bombay, they still have ghungat system. They cannot see their elders.
They do ghungat in
their
Bombay
in
apartment.
Bombay. Now look at that. They do not show their face to anyone in the family. She walked up to me. She took out a trikini and she said, I really want to wear this for my honeymoon. We're going to Maldives. And I want to place an order in it. And I was like, yeah, for sure.
She came in a ghungat?
No. She came like a normally dressed girl. But she said at home, when because it's a joint family, when we live together, we can't show our face to our elders. So I am supposed to always be covered. And she said, but anyways, we're going to Maldives. So this obviously I'll wear with my husband. And I said, sure. Anyway, she placed her order. I think 2 or 3 weeks later, we get a phone call. She's like, I cannot tell you how happy I am because you saved my marriage. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, I never thought that my husband would look at me from the way that he did only because of your bathing suit. She's like, I wanted to ignite a sense of passion, a sense of love in his eyes, because it was going to be the first time he was going to see me without clothes. And you saved my marriage. And I'm so happy that I did this. Now, this is also India. We're the youngest country in the world right now, right?
Right.
Fashion is nothing but emotion.
Right.
Practicality, yes, you buy for society, but your emotion is what drives the fashion industry, right? So
100%.
You could be in a very conservative family, but if deep down inside you're a fiercely independent woman, it is going to affect your actions and what you spend on.
So my mom was from a very conservative family. And her prayer to God when she was getting married was always that, God, please let me marry somebody who will let me do whatever fashion I want.
Wow.
And it was so cute because I'm like, from a 18, 19-year-old at that point whose mother was forcing her to get engaged to, getting rishtas and all. This prayer is so sweet and cute. Even I have been told. Me, who's like supremely independent since the day I was born, independent in my mind, you know? With very free-thinking parents, I have been told that don't wear that bikini on Instagram. Your neckline is too low or your bra is showing. And I'm like, but it's mine.
Exactly.
So what is your problem?
Body.
Right? So like people who've had it their whole lives take it for granted. And being able to just do fashion the way you want, it's a basic right. It's a basic right, but sometimes in parts of our country and countries around us, it's like a privilege, which is so sad, right?
When you put fashion in a context of self-love, all of these stories of individuality come up, right? And I felt like India didn't have a brand that could express all these women that exist in our country and beyond, because all the fashion brands in the country were always done for you wear it to show to others. It was always about gratifying the viewer and not for yourself.
I remember you guys telling me like a lot of your clients are coming from small towns, all kinds of sizes.
Oh, you'd be shocked how much
and you're catering to like bathing suits that would fit their body and their shape, which is amazing because it's very empowering to be able to wear a bathing suit, right?
It is. I think if your relationship with yourself in the mirror is not good when you wear a bathing suit, you will never step out. So it takes a lot for a woman or a man now to walk out in a bathing suit. So to infuse that sense of confidence, body positivity, or whatever that is, I feel is the most empowering thing you can do for an individual because it starts from you. If you can stand up for yourself in every aspect of your life, you end up being this person which is truly wholesome, I feel. And your contribution to society then becomes a lot more because you've started to first contribute to yourself on your own journey.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about menswear. So I think it was something you guys did, not knowing how well it's going to
I know.
do. You didn't realize that how much it'll pick up.
It was like an
Because I
atomic
think
bomb
men-
that just
yeah,
like,
because
blew
men,
up.
I think are probably now they're like evolved. They want to shop. They want to look good. It's not their wives and mothers buying for them anymore.
Yeah.
They shop themselves.
Yeah.
And they had such limited options for designers in India.
Correct.
Because it was either like a sherwani for a
Yeah,
wedding
yeah.
or nothing at all.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
there was very little in between.
Yeah.
So I think this brand came about and they were probably like, yes, finally something to wear in the Maldives.
I think it started as a guilty purchase, to be very honest.
Yeah.
So we put a rack just of polos and swim shorts, thinking that, when the wives are buying, maybe they just...
And when they're bored, they can pick up
yeah.
something.
Or
for
no,
you.
also the fact that they've shopped a lot that, let me just pick up something for my man.
Yeah. It's a token.
Yeah.
tokenism.
Yeah.
Okay, he'll be happy to.
Yeah.
And
I
so
got
much.
something for you too.
Yeah,
exactly.
for that reason.
Yeah.
We misinterpreted it, to be very honest, and
Yeah.
men started walking in and started buying, and then we had to segregate both the stores into men's and women's store because
Within few months.
men would just simply come in, and men are very easy shoppers. If they like something, if they fit
instinctive,
something,
right?
they
Immediate.
will pick up all the colors, all the prints, and all the pan colors, and
Yeah.
all the they just go by, give me the whole rack kind of a thing, which is when we realize that okay, we need to probably give attention to men as well, and bring more colors, bring more prints, bring more styles. It was initially just polos and trousers and swim shorts.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, but tell me this now. You have stores in Delhi, Bombay, Goa, and Hyderabad. Delhi, Bombay, Goa make a lot of sense to me because, Delhi, Bombay are the biggest markets for shopping, and Goa, it's resort wear, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Hyderabad is such a little hidden secret for fashion people and for designers. Like nobody realizes how great the market in Hyderabad is.
It's incredible.
Why is Hyderabad such a good market for fashion retail?
I think it's, like they say, they're the Punjabis of the South. I think they love to live a good life. I think they live their life to the fullest.
Yeah, which is nice. YOLO.
Which is incredible. And so now they just want to go out there, spend, and that's what makes Hyderabad incredible. I mean, it's cultural, but at the same time, it's very, very cosmopolitan. It's like how Delhi used to spend, I don't know, like 10 years ago. Like,
they're also, if I would put it in context, they're known to be Punjabis on steroids. Like
they will out drink Punjabis, they will out
100%.
shop Punjabis, they will out party Punjabis.
Yeah, 100%.
They've taken over.
Yeah,
every time we
Yeah.
go to Hyderabad, we just feel like, oh my God, we thought we were Delhiites. We
I
know
have
how to
gone out
drink
with
and
Hyderabadis,
dance.
I can't keep up. I'm
You
clearly a
can't
big
keep up.
loser. I just want to have 2 drinks and go to sleep now.
They don't start tequila shot, they start absinthe shots.
I think the unique thing about India is that every city has such a peculiar way of consuming fashion. And as a brand that's so bodycon, we understand these trends so much faster. Like, because bodycon brands, you know exactly how those cities behave, their shopping patterns, how they think about sizing. So like Bombay, for that example, for that matter, is so functional.
They want
It's
practical clothes,
Hyderabad is a mix. Hyderabad is like, yes, practicality is important, but they love to flare, they love to show, and that's amazing.
And what's Delhi? Delhi
It's
like,
pure show. It's just like YOLO.
Clients want the bling like to the max.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Punjab coming in shopping.
Right,
There's
right.
a lot of UP coming in
UP
shopping.
and Punjab primarily shopping in
yeah.
Delhi. Yeah.
Then from Punjab, they just love pop
Kala.
and show, and like
Yeah.
so now UP has got this whole pan masala brigade who just loves to spend money, and
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money being poured in Delhi to be shopping here.
So like you guys had plans of moving outside of India and taking this brand outside because that's always been the plan.
Correct.
So now where are you on this, like making this a global brand wala plan?
That was the plan at least 3-4 years ago also. And we started to really move into that direction very aggressively. And then COVID happened. And then when COVID happened, this will be very shocking actually for you. COVID years, we did such phenomenal business.
Because everybody was in the Maldives and everybody needed a new bathing suit.
It
That's
was-
why.
It was
Yeah.
either Maldives
Yeah.
or Dubai. These are the
Dubai,
only two
two
places
places.
open.
Yeah.
And we had people send their private jets just to pick up bathing suits and sarongs. There was not a single day that our factory was shut in those 2 years of the COVID being shut down. We obviously were making masks and I think because you had to make those things in order to be open
100%.
during that time.
Yeah.
But we were only processing client orders. And that taught us that India currently, the phase we're in, is such a booming market that we would be foolish to take out money from our own system of business and then put it in a different geography and then wait 4 to 5 years for that
to pick up. Yeah.
when you're taking all the eggs from here and putting it there. So we realized, okay, we need to take a bit of a pause because the ROI that we get from the Indian business was so much faster
Yeah.
and so much higher that it made sense to open more and more stores in India
To
itself.
establish it even further here
just
first.
continue to
Yeah.
do well in India. And at the same time, we will pick up the international journey when we find the right strategic partners.
So you're looking for strategic partners in terms of investment?
Investments,
Yes, strategic partners for investment, but more importantly, where
You're on the same
alignment of
page with
focus,
them
yes,
in terms of growth.
that an international luxury brand can come out of India. And when I say that, I don't mean selling to NRIs.
You
Because
mean
that's
selling
not
to everybody.
You're creating a global brand. If somebody from Brazil is buying you,
Right.
somebody
Some
from Australia,
non-Indian is buying you.
Yeah.
truly, that's the global audience that you need to be.
Right. How is this process? It's quite grueling looking for investors. Or...
It's not, to be honest. I
No?
think if you know where you want to go,
Yeah.
then you just put that on the table, and whoever
you
is
wait
on the
for
other
whoever
side, and then
comes.
you just wait.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's the beauty of when you're in a very self-sustaining brand journey, because you know you're not dependent on anybody,
Yeah.
and you can continue and drive this as long as you can,
Yeah.
and you can grow to the next chapter only when there's an alignment
Yeah.
with your partners.
How come you've not tapped into international celebrities wearing your clothes? Because a lot of designers do that now.
Correct.
And if you want to be a global
Yeah.
brand eventually, this
Yeah.
is a good way to start
Yeah.
also.
I mean, like I said, I think when we started in India, we were the only swimwear brand. So
Yeah.
the focus was really India. When India got really stable for us and we started to look outside, COVID happened and then the business started to boom here. So we realized, okay, again, time to focus back on India. But even in that stint, when we weren't looking outside, we've still dressed Kim Kardashian, we've dressed Oprah, we've dressed Beyonce,
Oh, so
we've
there's
dressed...
quite a list.
And all of this is
Yeah.
purely organic and editorial.
Organic,
It's like
yeah.
them reaching out on our Instagram and saying, we want to wear this, and then we're aligned. So even without stepping outside, we've been able to dress some of the biggest names outside. So
Yeah.
we know what's waiting for us when we go outside, when we actually start targeting to dress international celebrities.
right.
But until it doesn't make business sense, it will be stupid and foolish to do that just for the PR noise.
Yeah, you're right. Because if anybody globally sees your garment on an international celebrity,
not
you should be able to
available.
convert it into sales.
Absolutely.
Although you have an online store and
We
you
do,
could,
and we ship
you
everywhere.
could cater to everybody.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
But okay, you want it to become a part of a bigger strategy when you
Yes.
move abroad
Yes.
properly.
It has to be a 360 strategy, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
From everybody who's worn you, who have you enjoyed seeing? Like this person wore us really well. Because Shilpa Shetty wears you very well.
yeah.
Shilpa wears
Because
very
her
well.
body is so
Yeah,
insane that
yeah,
when
that's
she
true.
wears your really tight outfits, it looks super good on her because
It's
she
literally made for her. like, for that
she's a
body
big
type.
supporter,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love that for the brand.
she can rock it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why with that insane body, huh?
I think we really love dressing Beyonce. Like for me, that was something that,
That was
we
a
never.
highlight?
It was a massive highlight.
It was actually like I remember when the email came in from the stylist and Siddharth Reda was like styling for Beyonce. And
my
it was
sister,
right- she
my
said-
sister was sitting behind me. She's like, "Are you sure? Is it Beyonce Sharma or Beyonce?" So,
Beyonce Knowles. What's the last name? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole journey began of sending the sketches. They had already pre-selected some of the techniques that we were doing that season. And they like, we want this in the sketch that you were sending.
you remember when we'd done this whole collection inspired by tribal?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a raffia sleeve that we had done at the Fashion Week. They saw that sleeve and they said, "We want this sleeve, but you wanted you to cut it into a bodysuit and
Yeah.
Oh, very
make that
cool.
for her."
Oh my God, the whole journey was like, everything was done. And like then they went missing for a week because I think she was touring South Africa. And then they suddenly got back to us and we had 3 days left. And I was like, and we were traveling in and out, and it was such a crazy jigsaw puzzle that we had to organize. And by the end, the garment got made. We had done full backless, and they're like, "It's written in the contract she does not wear backless." And I'm like, okay. So now we had to cover the whole back and had to make it look still as if we didn't do this
Exactly,
mistake.
yeah.
And then we covered it up with, and they put lots of crystals on it.
There's some
Yeah.
800 crystals.
Yeah, it was some-
800
It was some
crystals
bejeweled,
on-
chunky
it's
ones,
fully
chunky
bejeweled.
ones.
Wow,
bathing
that's
suit.
amazing.
Yeah.
And like I guess for millennials, like for us, Beyonce is like our idol because we grew up with
Yes,
Beyonce, right?
And
Younger
especially when it
people
comes out
would-
of nowhere, right?
Yeah,
Like you're just
yeah.
so busy creating, and then you don't realize that that creation in the world is impacting so many people.
Yeah.
And I love actually what her team said, that she said that, we know the power she has. So when she travels across the world, we love to pick up designers from that part of the world
That's
because
nice.
because
Yeah.
it changes lives.
Hmm.
And look at what a beautiful space she comes from.
Does she tag designers when she wears them?
No, she doesn't
She
tag.
doesn't.
No, she
She
doesn't
doesn't.
tag. But she.
But the designer can use the content.
Yes, correct. And
for
they did give us
themselves.
official images that we
Yeah.
were allowed to post.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And she chose
Yeah.
to wear us for the finale.
Finale of what?
Of
She had come down for the Ambani wedding.
The Udaipur wedding.
The
Yeah,
Udaipur
the-
wedding.
Okay, Isha's wedding.
So she
Isha's
did 3-4
Yeah.
changes. She wore, I think, another 2 more Indian designers.
And
but
then
this
she
was a
wore you guys
finale.
at
yeah,
the
this was
end.
the
At the
finale.
end.
That's nice. That's nice. So when her team travels, they try and pick up local designers.
yeah,
That's wonderful.
That's incredible.
yeah.
I think.
Also, I think she enjoys her fashion. Like her
Yes.
mother used to be
Yeah.
a designer.
Correct.
They used to design their own costumes when they were starting out. There's a
Yeah.
whole story about that. So she clearly also has a keen eye
Yeah.
for these things. She's probably personally involved.
Yeah.
She's a very good taste in fashion, I would say.
Okay, I want to ask this before we go. What is your obsession with shooting minute by minute of wherever you go and putting it up on Instagram? It is slightly annoying for people who are with you.
I like telling stories. In general, that's just who I am. Because
So
I
you
do
want
it
to tell a
with
story of every minute of every day
like
that you
you
spent
have to
everywhere?
understand. This is what I do even in printmaking also. I'm basically telling the story of where we've been. But more importantly, here, I just like to capture when we're on a really good high. Like it could be a beautiful high moment, right? Like when our spirits are lifted. And I like to document that.
But why do you want people to know of every single thing you've done? And where have you been? And I mean, like, do you keep anything private?
But it's not for people, it's for me.
But you're putting it on a public platform and then tagging all of us. And then I have to write back being like, Naresh, remove, untag me.
Half
Naresh,
of my
move
stories
this.
anyways get removed because of you. Thanks.
Because I hate my house being shot. It's only because of these 3 Shivan Narresh Siddharth. Okay, it is so irritating. I mean, if it's something small and I don't mind, but every detail. And then sometimes when you're in a private moment with just close friends, or and having an intimate evening or whatever, you just want to enjoy it privately.
And that's exactly what I
But
do.
because of you, we have no privacy. And it came to a point where I had to be like, ban Naresh's phone. So Naresh's phone got banned, and we were like, your phone is not allowed in this house. And then he started shooting from Shivan's phone, and it's like an addiction. He needs somebody else's phone. Like, give it to me. Like he can't survive if he
I
doesn't.
know, I remember during COVID, like,
Yeah.
we would hang out together, and that became national news. And it
Did
was
it?
pretty, yeah.
Yes, you remember it came in Mumbai Mirror.
It's because of this excessive sharing.
Yes, but
See, a little bit I understand, but to
Yeah.
this extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think again, it's done for me and for my friends. It's not meant to do anything for anybody else.
There's some thread on Reddit. I never read Reddit because I don't think usually anything good comes out of that. People follow your stories because they want to know what you're doing and how you party. Is this like you becoming an influencer? Is this a part of that
No,
situation?
if I became an influencer, I'd make a lot of money, but I'm clearly
Yeah.
not making money
Yeah.
from being an influencer. I love documenting my life. And I feel like we're so blessed, and there's so much gratitude with which we live because we have a very beautiful life. And I feel
Yeah,
like
like
every time I
knock on wood. Don't
document,
jinx it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every time we
Yeah.
document that, it's so beautiful to see. I just feel like life gives you more of what you put out. That's just my personal belief. I feel like you throw out gratitude, there's more to your life.
But like
And-
everybody else in India is like, Nazar, you put out, you'll get Nazar.
Yeah, I
you know?
think Nazar is a concept, and I think everything coexists.
Yeah.
Nazar exists, but so does when you come from this belief that more makes it more.
I think whatever you believe exists.
Yeah,
you
that's
you
true.
put into existence whatever you
Exactly.
believe,
Yes.
right?
That's
So when I
yeah.
put out abundance, I feel it attracts more abundance in my life. And,
Yeah.
and because I do it out of a very good and pure intent, the intent is not to show to anybody, the intent is not to make anybody jealous.
Yeah.
And it's just because I feel my life is great. And
Yeah.
I feel it just attracts more of
It
that.
makes you happy, basically.
Yeah, it makes me happy and it attracts more of that in my life.
His camera now, if it comes out, I don't even notice it. Like he would be sneakily probably like just switching on a camera and then we're just having a good time. And that's why you see what you see is very natural. Like there's no pretense, there's no trying to put up a face because his camera is switched on and we're like just having a good time. We do have to tell him that control certain words that we say sometimes, you know.
No, I trust me. I a lot of things I don't put out because so many times. Oh, you remember this? When I had accidentally put up a story and you could hear people bitching behind us. And that was the first time this had happened. And then those people started fighting because I put up a story and you could hear people behind in the story talking, bitching about each other.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it was dangerous. So then I learned
Yeah.
my lesson. So now I
So now
literally
he
hear
hears
everything before I put up because I don't mean to cause any trouble for anybody. You know? So
Yeah,
This is
I'm careful now. Yeah.
this is crazy. Now tell me about these house parties that you have.
Well,
Yeah.
more about them.
So I've not come to any of them yet. Like I come for like just when it's just us. But apparently there are these crazy house parties which people are willing to fly down for also.
Okay.
And this one invite goes out, then it's like gets passed on to like 10 more people. And
Listen,
it's-
all of this is Shivan. He
Yeah,
loves to
I
be
do.
a good host. I think all of this is him. He's a very homely figure, loves to be a great host. And for him, as many people at home is good.
Like the more the merrier.
Yeah. I mean, he's big on controlling the guest list, and I'm like, let's just invite everybody, and then maybe we can call it the next time, because maybe we don't want to have them every time, but I just want to have many people. So there's one invite that I sent out, and I know that a lot of people started sending me messages, hey, what's up, how are you doing? So the invite has reached this person as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like, hey, I'm good. And then I was not continue the conversation. And they're so oh, whenever you have a party, call me. And I'm like, oh, this is so direct. Like,
Yeah.
Sure. And I would move out because I know that he wants to like just have a certain amount of people, and that's it. That's about it.
I think it just also stems from the fact that we both enjoy a high vibration life. If we have a lot of energy, and I think that energy, even after doing our work and travel, we still have some more to spend.
Yeah, I
and,
know,
and,
it's-
and
I know,
hence
it's
we like
crazy.
to. So it comes out in having a good time. We love food, so we like eating well, and then you want to share it then with your friends. So
Yeah.
you're all constantly looking for a reason to just extend that.
So
you
I
know?
think this is what has changed. You know, like back in the day, that there was this, when we were kids, I guess our parents' generation, it was this thing that like work really hard till 30 or 40
Correct.
and then
Exactly.
retire.
Yeah.
Like don't have
Correct.
any fun.
My father used to say
don't
that.
have
Yeah,
any fun
yeah,
till
I
you're 30,
swear.
40 and then you retire.
And then live like a king after
yeah,
you're 50,
but I'm like,
you're
how
40.
do you know? Like life has no guarantee,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Inshallah,
exactly.
hopefully we'll live very long
Yeah.
lives. But YOLO came out, right?
Correct.
So you should live in the moment. You
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
enjoy every day.
Yeah.
COVID like solidified that belief
Yeah.
that like, you know, enjoy your
Yeah.
day. So you guys really do that,
Yeah,
literally.
And also, that's even if you look at our whole country as at large, it's the reason why this shift, the focus shift from weddings to bachelorettes, like milestone birthdays, frenny moons,
Yeah, people
honeymoons.
celebrate a lot of things now.
They were like,
yeah.
why are we celebrating only one day of our lives when we can celebrate every year and then multiple occasions in those years, right?
Exactly.
Like, and why not? Life is meant to be celebrated,
Yeah.
and you should.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And I think this energy is what you bring extends to your brand.
I guess, it
and
just
I think
comes
that's,
across,
It all
yeah.
it all is like one thing.
Yeah.
You don't have a separation between
Correct.
brand and private.
No,
Yeah.
because
life,
like
yeah.
I said, like what we started with, the whole reason to start this brand was so that we could live this life. So when we live this life, this brand exists. Fashion brands that have their name as their brand, they're all personality-driven brands, right? This is Shivan Narresh. If this personality-driven brand is not going to have a unique personality, what is the value of the brand? So
I didn't think about it that way. This is very true.
If our brand was called ABC XYZ and it had nothing to do with our names, we could live a different life and the brand could be a different journey. But this is our journey. So you have to be as transparent and as human with this process. And that's exactly what clients relate to. And because they relate to it, they show their love in terms of sales. And you're just going, they push you more and more. Every financial year after every financial year, you're able to do more things. And I really believe in this transparent process. I think more and more the world is getting transparent. It's not about me and me controlling everything, that sense of, how you operate. Now it's more about partnerships. It's about building things together. That's the reason, even in my company, it's not just Shivan and me, it's Shivan, me and Siddharth, because I think three of us bring such unique contribution to this company. And it exists because three of us bring our best foot forward.
Exactly.
And it's not that I have it all and he has it all or Siddharth has it all. It's a combined effort of all of us.
Yeah.
And I feel this is the new age the world is moving towards.
Okay, amazing. Now give me some coffee
Yeah. Okay.
and make up for me waiting for you and give me some breakfast.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap it up, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.